Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to check out something new from BougeRV. If you guys have been around a while, you know I've done a bunch of products from these guys, and they contacted me and asked me to check out this new product of theirs. And this is their new Universal Soft Rack. It's made of EVA foam. It can hold 165 pounds of weight and is good for things like paddle boards, surfboards, and as you'll see in this video, carrying a ladder around. So let's check out what comes in the box here. So inside the box, you're going to find, as usual, your instructions. Kind of gives you a quick rundown of what we got in there. 2 secondary straps that'd help you attach whatever you're carrying to the rack. You've got those 2 clips in there as well to help manage your straps. And then you have 2 racks, basically, that slide around in there so you can kind of keep them narrow or wide. One for the front, one for the back. And then if you take a quick look there, you can see the bottom is a little bit roughed up. It's supposed to help these guys from not slipping around, but they didn't help all that much. I think it'd be better to have some kind of a non-slip mat to go along with this kit to keep those things from moving. As you'll find out later, it really didn't matter. I figured out a way to keep that from happening anyway. So we're going to take a quick look at one of these guys. We're going to undo it. This is an 11-foot strap on this as far as the length. So that's going to go, the rack's going to go on top of the car, and then the strap tucks underneath through the door jamb over to the other side, and I'll show you all that in just a second. So here we are out in the garage. We're going to take a little bit closer look, and I'll show you how these guys can move and adjust. And on the top there, you can see that there are 3 different spots for the strap to tuck into to help tighten whatever you're carrying in a better way. And then the main buckle there has a nice pad on it to protect your paint. All right, so let's get these thrown on the car. Literally, this takes about 5 minutes, and I'm sure once you've done it a few times, it would be even quicker than that. But you just kind of get them close to where you want them, and then throw the strap back to the other side. Same thing on the back. And either one of these can go front or back. They're exactly the same. So strap comes through. And again, you'll see here, something unique about the Volt, and maybe your car too, is it's kind of an aerodynamic roof, so they don't lay flat on there. But I thought it was going to be a problem. Again, it's not at all. It ended up being fine once I had the ladder on the rack itself. So what I found best for getting this tight was actually to put my hand inside, pull the strap underneath, pull that super tight, and then keep pulling to get it as tight as possible. Even with it very snug, I had a hard time from keeping those individual racks from sliding. But again, I'll show you in a second how we take care of that. The clips that come with it, I just use them to manage the excess strap. And here you can kind of see if you have backseat passengers where it might be a problem. This is kind of right in the way. And where I had the front strap set up initially was a problem as well, and I'll show you that too. It was in my way, and it was not something I would ever do for a long distance, and I ended up sliding it more forward to fix it. But you can see here, it was annoying. It was right in the way. All right, so rack is on. Again, really quick, about 5 minutes to get that going. And there's that little bit of space because of the shape of the roof. And I was able to get one side of the ladder into one of the grooves, but it wasn't wide enough to get into the other side, just due to the width of each of the blocks. But not a problem. Everything's secured very nicely, and it was no big deal. So just inside the ladder, there's a little area to feed the strap through, and then there was those 2 areas on the outside to feed the strap to. So you can definitely get whatever you're carrying very secure. And I believe if you do a stand-up paddleboard or a surfboard, they recommend having secondary straps in the front and back as well. So that you'd probably have to have other straps to do that. And as far as securing whatever you're securing on here, there's probably 100 different ways I could have secured this ladder. I didn't want it to slip back, forward, or backward. And so I just tried to get it as tight as I could in there. And you've got plenty of strap to work with. All right, so once we get this around the ladder, we'll feed it through the clip here and get that nice and snug. And then I'll show you, I just did a very basic knot around the main strap to try to keep that block from moving too much. And as you'll see when we get on the road, it actually worked pretty darn well. So here's that, tying that knot for this right here. So get them kind of where you want them. And then you can just tie a quick knot. And we'll do the same for the front. And then you can just tie your excess strap around whatever you're loading up there, just so it doesn't flap around too much. All right, so you can see it's still moving a little bit, but it's definitely better. It's not going to have a lot of movement side to side, and once we're driving, you'll get an idea of how well it stays there. And when we get back to the house, I'll show you how there was essentially no movement whatsoever. All right, so we're gonna head out. We're gonna drive through the neighborhood. I'm gonna take you over to kind of a bumpy road in the back side of our neighborhood. For some reason, they didn't redo that area. And we do some braking and some swerving, and I went up to about 50 miles an hour on the main road away from the house. And everything was very secure, and again, minimal movement, if any at all. Here's a little washed out area. We had tons of rain this winter. It was actually quite awesome. And there's actually part of the road up here to the east that was washed out heavily and is still washed out. They haven't fixed it yet. So it was a great winter season. I'm hoping we have good rain again. But from the video here, you can see we're going to go out to a little bit faster road here shortly. Here we go. And we're going about 50 here. And again, no movement at all, nice and secure, and just a few different angles. And here I'm swerving around a little bit. Yeah, it worked out great. So this is the first setup. You can see this is just not tolerable. I could not find a way to be comfortable here. I moved my seat up, down, back, forward. And here, I actually moved the front pads as far forward as I could, and it worked out much better. If you were taller, that might be in your line of sight a little bit, but for me it wasn't. And again, it's going to vary car to car on how that strap comes across. But in this setup here, it was actually very, very doable, and it wasn't a problem at all as far as getting in my vision. And again, those are adjustable. And I have that strap extraordinarily tight at this point, and until you get something on those, they still move. So I do think a non-slip pad would be helpful. It turned out it wasn't necessary, but I guess it depends on what you're carrying. This ladder is not very heavy, so obviously something heavier is going to keep those things locked down a little bit better. I was not able to try this in the rain because we haven't had any the last few weeks, but from what I did here, very secure. So would I recommend this product? I think it is very useful for somebody who occasionally needs to carry stuff on the top of their car and they don't want to have a roof rack full time. As we all know, it can affect your mileage a little bit, and you don't want to do a roof rack and crossbars. So, you know, if you have a business where you need to carry a ladder around like this would actually work very well. Or if you want to take your stand-up paddleboard down to the lake every now and then, ocean, whatever, this would also work. And you really could leave this on all the time if you can find a comfortable spot for those straps inside your vehicle. It's not going to hurt anything at all. It's very doable and usable. I think, you know, kind of a negative that I've talked about a couple times is I think it'd be nice to have a no-slip pad that goes with this kit. Secondly, I think the straps could be an issue for some people as far as being in your line of sight or just being hitting you in the head like they did for me. It really depends on your car and how big the front door is and the rear door. Carrying passengers with this setup may not be so easy. If it's a short trip, it's probably not a big deal, but something to consider for sure. But at the price point, I think it's a cool option, and I really like the idea of it. With all the BougeRV products that I've owned, they've all been high quality and they've been well made. I've not had any issues with them in that respect. Good products. I don't get paid to do these videos at all. They give me the product and I try to do an honest video for you guys. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. If you're interested in buying one, you can follow the link over to the website and pick one up. I think it might work for you if you have the need to carry something around every now and then that doesn't fit in your vehicle. So for me personally, if I didn't want to load up the trailer, I could run over to Home Depot and get, you know, a 6 or 8 foot couple of 2x4s or something for the shop if I needed something like that. And this would work for that as well. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching, and go check out all the other good stuff from BougeRV. They do make good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.